Howdy friends, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for stopping by. I'm Imperial Jedi, and I have a little bit of a treat for you guys. So I did say I wanted to do most of my building a little bit off camera when I was going to kind of grow the city a little bit more before we start our transportation hub. But just based on the comments, so many of you wanted to see what I was up to, so I figured I'd make a little bit of a video. It's kind of showcasing what I've done so far. So this is just a little bit of a sneak peek. So for those of you that are really into the finer details and like, you know, beautification and like that kind of stuff, this is a little bit of a sneak peek as to the kind of stuff I like to do. So we got little highway signs saying, you know, gas, food, lodging, next exit. You know, some kind of like foresty kind of feeling stuff. We got a little exit sign here. Industrial park, a lot of rocks. It's kind of neat too. It's a take on a partial cloverleaf interchange. Kind of, sort of. It just takes up a little bit less space, but I think it's kind of neat. Added some rocks in, nice little big pile right over here. This is your kind of thing. I'll be doing a few episodes on how to kind of do this, and we'll do just different parts of the city. And I want to give a special shout out too, actually. A YouTuber called Fresh Popcorn. If you're into like this kind of stuff, check out his channel. His is like this, but like times 100. His level of detail is magnificent. Like, I think I'm good at this game, and then I watch his videos, and I'm like, holy smokes, I'm in the wrong, you know? I'm in a very different league, it looks like. So if you guys are all about the finer details, definitely check him out. Nice little friendly plug for him. And his channel, it's on my featured page, so if you go to my channel, you'll see him on the right-hand side, and it's Fresh Popcorn. And if you're watching, howdy. Hope you're doing well. I like your videos. Okay, so let's do some building, or at least let me show you what I've done before. Actually, let me do that first. So I changed this interchange over to a double merging crossover interchange, double crossover. Oh wait, what a tongue twister! Double crossover merging interchange. And the way these work is incoming traffic lanes hop over to the opposite side. You can see these kind of do the crossover, and then when you have your ramps kind of going out. It just helps with merging. Like, no one's really crossing in front of anyone else. It's a lot safer, it's faster, so you get more, you know, higher volumes of traffic type thing through here. So we did that, and we added a very simple diamond interchange just right next door. And to accommodate a little bit more traffic flow, we're going from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. Timing of the light seems like it's okay for traffic so far. And something that I did, which was super fun, I've made a little express bypass kind of going through the city here, just so if you don't want to use the highway, you don't really have to. So this is really, really fun. So a new bridge here for your tram. This connects to that little bypass itself right here. But essentially, traffic moves a lot faster on this road. I used the traffic mod for that. And so from this intersection onward, the speed limit's actually 90 kilometers an hour. We're going to have no zoning on it. Our highways are 100, just for reference. And the trams themselves are going to go pretty fast on here too. The expressway ends right here if you're sticking to this road. So the speed limits drop back down. We're going to have zoning and, you know, residents, that kind of stuff up here. But if you wanted to keep going in terms of the expressway, it does continue up here. So we got one-way roads breaking off going in. The tram goes a little bit higher up, because I couldn't quite get that to work right through here, which is no problem. That sneaks on through. This links back up. This is high-speed road 2. The trams get to go 70 kilometers an hour. The roads are set at 90. And the road slightly elevates here to allow trams to do kind of like a junction little crossing. And then they now spill back into the residential zones. Our expressway kind of ends right here. But my thought process for all of this was pretty cool. The highway goes through. Oh, so much fun. Another diamond interchange. I'm going to make this into a really, really big kind of high-density condo living space. And lots and lots of residents are going to work here, or live here, sorry. They're going to need somewhere to work, so I've already started setting up this office park right here. Need to beef this up a little bit more. But we now have a direct express link going from where people live to where people work. And then hopefully they won't take the highway. That'll free up some of the traffic in our interchanges here. We've added now this to help with our industrial interchange traffic. So you can kind of see this is now a lot cleaner. So we're just spreading the load around a little bit more, which is kind of the name of the game here. And then we got now a backup option here. Train tracks have been fixed. Have to kind of fix the spot over here as well, but this is now straight and level. I decided that we're going to be doing our main transportation hub in this big old section right here. So I'm going to leave this open. It depends on how much building we actually get done this episode, because I just want to show you a little bit more of my planning before really anything else. But yeah, I was thinking we could do a public transportation hub right here, which gives us some room to stretch the industry up to, say, closer to this part of the rail. We can do a really big cargo network, say, right here, and we can have the makings of an internal cargo line, and that can kind of head back down towards the shipping area. It can kind of head up here as well. And then on this side will be the passenger aspect of all of our trains. And it should look pretty cool because it's going to be a nice big old building, and then we'll have all this fun kind of factory, industrial stuff in the background, and then, you know, a big dense old city over here. So it should be kind of a fun, I think, mix. So let's just jump in. Let's do some building. Have some fun over here. But I wanted to give you guys some inspiration for high density, just kind of a little bit, you know, of a different take than what we were doing over on this side. And actually, before we jump into building, I had a few of you ask why I haven't really done just 100% high density over here. And it's just for two reasons. One, the city size itself isn't really all that big yet, so I don't want too stark of a kind of comparison or contrast between our low density and our high density. And you can kind of see over here, like, we've got a few high density buildings. If you want, what you can do, just to kind of add a few more in, you can see I've already done this. The maximum building size you can have is 4x4. So I just took a few, just, you know, 4x4 pockets out here and there just to fill those in with high density. You can see we can do, you know, smaller ones, 3x3, 3x2 if you want, 3x1, whatever you want, right? Maximum size though is 4x4. And it's just a fun way to kind of stagger the building density up. You can kind of see we're trying to do the same thing over here. You'll notice right away the roads start getting a lot wider. We're planning already for bigger traffic. You can even see, right, the difference, just even these 2 blocks. And just, you know, that's kind of a fun way to do it. And then this island right here, didn't want it to seem too high density. If you're looking for something that's like mega structures, skyscrapers, that kind of stuff, you know, stay tuned, subscribe. We'll be doing, you know, a big downtown core kind of later on when we grow the city a lot more. Just the short-term plan, just to kind of get you guys on the same page. I want to fill in basically these 4 squares right here, maybe a little bit kind of in those directions too. And then from there, I want to start doing districts, policies, some larger infrastructure projects, you know, metro lines, trains, you know, that kind of stuff, right? And then from there, we'll just kind of go on a big growth crusade. Then we can do some farming, some small towns, just, you know, basically the works. Whatever you guys want. And I'll kind of help you along the way type thing. All right. Enough chit-chat, back to building. Let's do it. So with wider roads in mind, let's still go here. I'm going to leave, as you know, a corridor open. Because there is the, oh goodness gracious me. There is the option still to bring in some rail eventually. So that's totally not out of the question. Okay. And then what I'm going to do, actually I think I will close this off. I'm going to force traffic going this way, but I think we're okay still. So we could change that into like a one-way corridor or something, but no, I think we're fine. Alright. Now I'm just going to mix up some of the roads here, just for the sake of variety and just for, you know, some visual look from overhead. But all I'm going for is just some more office space. It would be kind of nice to line that up with that. You know what? That's actually very doable. So I'm going to give us another little bypass option, so you don't even have to go through this interchange if you don't need to. We're going to have to move some of this stuff, which is totally no problemo. So this is our bus depot. I'm going to move this over here, and we do get a lot of traffic over in this spot. So hopefully that'll kind of free up maybe a little bit. And something else I did too, let me just share with you before we move on, is this particular intersection was getting a little bit backed up. So I removed, you see how we have these ones over here? I removed those on that side just to kind of free up a bit more space, and then it kind of allows the lights to kind of time a little bit better. And okay, now we're moving this. And this is just a big old incinerator I've got. Maybe that can be on a little side road right here. Oh, will this cooperate? Oh, it's because of all these rocks. Of course, of course. Just get rid of those. Get rid of that. And we'll go ahead and stretch that. Oh, yes. Yes. Very nice. Okay, now this can go right in there. Perfection. Love that. And because it's close to the highway, it'll kind of help over here too, which is pretty good. Okay, now, is there anything else on here preventing us from erasing it? No, there is not. Okay, so these go... Oh, that was connected, looks like, to the other side. I'm just going to stretch that a little bit further. Let's now bring this up and over. And if we wanted to be honest, what we could do, oh, actually, why not? Is let's bring our 6-lane road down by one more block, and now we can have a 6-lane corridor stretching over to our industrial side. How far is that? 51. How far are you actually from this? 24, 23. Oh, that's not so uneven. Interesting. Okay, let's just go up by 10, up to, say 9. Nope, maybe we'll have to go 12 this time. See, I don't know what it is. Sometimes it's just the 9 or the 12. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you just need to see how that works. Oh well. Okay, so this will go through like this. Neato presto. That fixes those lines and the transport kind of errors there. Connect that. Oh, this is great. Very convenient. Now let's maybe move. I mean, this stuff will move anyway, but let's just move this for the moment, since we're about to do some rezoning here anyway. This was offices, totally can remain offices. I put an incinerator in here. Let's move that actually up. Oh, move it over here. Allow our offices to kind of just stay all together like that. Now it looks like that road might be a little bit crooked. Do we have a bus on it though? Aha, we did. Oh, interesting. Look at the way the route kind of. That's not really how it's going to be. So I want to fix that. So I'm going to move actually some of our bus stops. What am I looking for here? Buses. So if you're curious how to move bus stops, just click and drag them, and then your routes will refine themselves. So let's go like this. Let's move those over to here. Move those to here. Bada bing, bada boom. Cool. These might be a little bit close together, all of these, but I think we're okay. We maybe are going to take these ones out just to spread things. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. I like this. This is cool. Good stuff. A little bit of room for growth there. Okay. So back in with our industry. Let's just leave this to kind of build freely just in the background. Oh, something to consider, of course. We don't want to be too close to all those beautiful trees with our pollution, otherwise they're not going to look very nice. So we'll put offices around here, and then we're moving this now down just to kind of be the blocker. We're not the blocker, just further away. The offices are the blocker. There we go. And just maybe a little bit of commercial in here. Why the heck not? Maybe we'll leave that part open, though. All right, this is getting fun. I like this. Okay, so we're going to let this build in the background. Kind of help our demand, let the city kind of move along. And, okay, so let's use some of these roads here. So again, keeping a little bit of room just in case we wanted to get some trains or something still through here. We got that option. And why don't we just box this off just to kind of make things a little bit simple. Like a box within a box. Just to make things a little bit different. Now, I want to use, I have these fun parking lots somewhere. Here they are. Oh, that fits beautifully. I like it. We'll use that right there. And just put our offices in and around here. Not going to zone on our off-ramp. That was very tempting, but that would create quite a headache, I believe. Now, on this side of the street, I think we're going to put in some commercial. And do we still need our power lines in between? It does look like we do. I think I'm actually going to switch over to relay boxes. So we'll just maybe hide that under the bridge if we can. Yep. Get rid of that. Just free up those 2 squares. Also, if you don't like the look of power lines, just, you know, alternate option, right? Man, traffic. What a big difference we have. And I can't wait to see the difference on the highway when we start putting a subway link in between, you know, our islands and everything. Holy smokes, that'll be a huge, huge difference. Oh my goodness, can't even believe it. So don't underestimate public transit. You'd be pleasantly surprised at how well it works. So not a bad little office district right here. And the goal is just to keep on squashing our rising industry demand. And the more we do that, the more people we get moving in over here. Because we still have a lot of space for residents, which is great. So let's keep on going with this. And we can even move the industry out a little bit further too. Okay, so grow in the city. And if you'll notice, we haven't really done a whole heck of a lot up here yet. I'm just kind of leaving this for when we fill in this spot. I kind of go in stages, I guess is a good way to kind of put it. Oh, and something else to take note, you guys may have already noticed on your own, is I did move the water and the sewage a little bit further over. It's a temporary location. It just happens to be here and here. So this is the outflow, this is the intake. Just kind of keeping them separate. I mean, the idea is just to kind of move them away from, you know, people progressively. We're going to set up a really big kind of like industrious, cool looking spot for our utilities. We just need the city to be a little bit bigger first. And that was kind of one of those little infrastructure projects I was, you know, talking about as the city kind of grows, but one thing at a time. All right, so we do want to make sure we're using the wider roads over here. So let's actually change this around. Our industrial areas, they get a fair amount of truck traffic for what I hope are very obvious reasons. So let's give them some wider roads to drive on. And just to make things, you know, fun, different, don't be afraid to do this kind of stuff. Just 45-degree angle, roads kind of cutting through, whatever you want type deal. See if we can get that to work. Of course it will not, because that's my luck. If that's the case, we'll just curve it in. No problemo. Does it have to go this way? It doesn't. It can, and it fits beautifully, so let's do that. Did we have to do that? Probably not. I'm happy we did, though. Okay, so we're going to keep this as the blocker. Again, we don't want to be too close. So maybe we can fill this whole area in with trees and rocks and stuff. We'll kind of see. And I'm thinking, now that we've extended some of our boundaries a bit, I know we're kind of breaking our rule here, maybe by putting a little industry, but maybe we're okay. What I was going to say, what we could do is add in some more services now that we're getting a little bit, you know, bigger in terms of the city here. So we'll take a look at fire, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can kind of see the high-density buildings. They need lots and lots and lots of coverage for fire. They need a little bit more than just say the rest of the world. And you know what we could do is we'll put a fire truck right there. So if they need to, they can use this to kind of as a turnaround point. Maybe, hopefully, even right here they could U-turn. But this. Oop, we're not close enough. It should be, because of how fast it is, a nice kind of big coverage zone coming from that fire station. Okay, we got water, we got power. Cool. And by that same flip of the coin, we can probably put a police station over here too. Yeah, nice. Massive coverage zones. And because of the high speed aspect of this road here. Now, do we lose our speed now that we change things? No, we're still 90, we're good. Oh yeah, that's cool. Also, this is cool. I really like the idea of this. See how fast these trucks are going? I love it. Zooming on by. I love little bump sways too. I think that's kind of fun. Okay. Back to building. And you can see we're doing a very good job of meeting industrial demand. We might want to switch over now to some commercial, try and squash that a little bit. So maybe we can just do some low-density commercial over here. So anyone working can do some shopping as well. Maybe on their lunch break, go out for, you know, get a sub or something, get some gas, that kind of stuff. And then if we'll notice over here, these areas, they should start filling up. Our demand, it's still a little bit slow. I imagine, though, you know what we can do? I imagine if we go like this, change that, we might be able to get a few new people moving in. I was saying in the last little bit, you know, last little episode, it's just creating that artificial demand that's kind of non-stop. So right now, if we put in a lot of commercial, we'll just see, you know, that immediately go down, and then we'll see more residents move in. So let's keep an eye on our population. We're at 30,000 now. Let's drop in some high-density shopping, and let's try and get more people in here as a result. So we'll put those in. We'll start building our neighborhoods out here. Actually, let's keep it on 3-speed. We'll just keep resetting the day. I don't think we can get underneath there. Oh, so you know what we could do is we'll just build our neighborhoods off of this. We'll kind of keep these ones a little bit secluded from the other part of the town. So you got to drive here to get here kind of thing. And in these kind of areas, when they're secluded like this, that's like prime for if you wanted to put in like a subway or that kind of stuff. So I'm trying to get something, there we go. So I wanted something in line, but not connected to that. And by George, I think we've done it. And that looks like it's slightly crooked. I don't like when that stuff happens. So let's try that again. Okay. There we go. That's what I'm after. And we'll scale down the roads because we're getting further away from some of the higher traffic streets. We'll just eyeball that. I know we can't go over top of this unless we use one of these things, which is fine. We'll just do a short distance because that kind of messes up some of the zoning squares and everything. There we go. That can go over to here, but we're going to do more or less the same angle as our off-ramp so that visually from overhead it looks really nice. So that was about there. It looks like we have to do this one first. So this might be a bit of trial and error. Well, that's not so bad. That was pretty good off the first go. I think we can take that. Take that all the way to the bank. Alright, so now in here perhaps some lower density. And we don't want zoning right off that. I think that might make it actually I don't know. I don't know if it's zoning off the tunnel or if it's zoning off here. That's what I'm a little bit worried about. Because of that anarchy bit, right? Alright, the mystery. I need to see where this building's going to be. Yeah, it looks like it's off the tunnel. So we are taking that away. That's no problem. And see over here, we're not going to zone as well. That'll be too big, too much. Maybe just do this part. And heck, why not? Let's do it. We'll just won't go the full way out. And then some more offices to meet that demand as well. But maybe this should be high density commercial as well. And then this stuff here can be the offices. Cool. Love it. Definitely coming together. And then I think over here we'll have to add some more services because we're just a little bit now further away. We're underground. Oh, actually, never mind. Still have enough roads kind of connecting. That's the other reason why I like to have nice big straight roads throughout the whole city. At least one or two kind of big long corridors. It helps a lot with your service vehicles and like spreading, coverage around, that kind of stuff. And, planning like bus routes and everything. It's just so much easier when you can kind of not get lost and find your way type deal. So it looks like this is a little bit crooked, but I don't think it's going to jive our style. I think we're okay with that. Alright, so let's put it on 3 speeds, kind of keep our experiment alive, but whether or not we can raise our population. And let's just stare at services. So police and fire should be good, since those are just right there. Schooling doesn't matter, so no one lives there, of course. Garbage and coverage. Water, we are covered almost fully. Ooh, over here we are not, though. There we go. So our population is going down, and then the reason for this is we have people moving out. It looks like over here some of these areas are becoming abandoned just because they probably didn't have enough. Oh, there was no water. Oh, never mind. So anyone working there maybe just lost their job and moved out. And then another thing too, you'll hear a lot of people talk about this, the death wave. Basically what happens is the people in your city, they age at, I want to say like a realistic pace, but you can kind of see this down here. This is counting down the days. Your citizens, they eventually die, which is very morbid to think about. So right here you can see our birth to death ratio. Right now we're still ahead of the game, but that's probably contributing to our negative population. It looks like though it's more people moving out because we're not really meeting up with demand in terms of like housing or this and that, right? More so commercial. Anyway, just keep an eye on your totals because right now it looks like almost just over 1 in 4 people are a senior, and those are the ones who are kind of at the end of the life cycle. And when we have the game on paused and we make really big sections like this and then suddenly press play, all of these people when they move in, they're going to be at more or less kind of the same age. Maybe they're all people looking for jobs, so they'll have kids. Everyone kind of ages at the same pace, more or less. Of course, this is not set in stone. But you'll notice the bulk of your people will kind of do that. So the death waves, they kind of come and go. So all of these people, once they kind of hit the ripe old age of death at the same time, that's when you'll notice a big drop in the population numbers. So don't feel like there's anything wrong or like maybe you've done something incorrect. It just means that like people are at the end of their life. and we can kind of take a look at just your population graph. This will go as low as, down in the teens, right? But right now we have a lot of old people. And you can kind of see we've got a lot of young adults. So these people are going to enter the workforce pretty soon. So that should hopefully help with this. Anyway, so there's just little things you got to keep an eye on just to kind of, monitor the health of your city. Oh my goodness, I love the city, guys. It's really coming together quite nicely. This area here filling in rather well as well. Looks like we got a little bit more room for growth. So let's just keep the party going. And you'll notice I have a tendency to switch down or keep scaling back the density of the roads I'm using the further away we get or further kind of towards the outskirts. And outskirts is a loose term, but when I say outskirts over here, I mean there's just nowhere else to build because we're at the highway, right? But I think you know what I mean in general. And I love these roads. And again, offices, they do not mind the noise, which is why we are building over here. I definitely would not put residents over here. And maybe we'll keep that spot open. Okay. And I have it on 3-speed right now, just because I want to see where the population goes, how things kind of end up. I do want areas to fill in a little bit faster too. But I do think we are kind of nearing the end of this. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit more inspiration. So hopefully this kind of zone here, maybe you'll be curious. You want to see how it goes, so you guys will subscribe and come back and see. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to build some more off camera, maybe fill in just a little bit more of this. We'll keep this open. What we'll do in the next episode is build our central transportation hub. Once we get that kind of established, we'll basically build this quadrant of the city around it. And we'll kind of, work in the tram lines, that kind of stuff. We have the basic framework right here, which is kind of what I was after. But we're going to be building an even higher density area here than what we did over here. So if you guys do want to see a little bit more of a downtown core kind of skyscraper kind of feel, that's what this is eventually going to become. So stick around for that. Definitely drop some comments. Let me know your thoughts. We'll try and time that along with putting in the transit lines. So I think in order of operations, next episode we'll build our public transportation hub. We'll do a follow-up episode of some more just kind of off the scene or kind of building, right? Just a little bit. I'll give you guys kind of a hint of what I'm doing. We'll fill in the city a little bit more, and then after that, once the population's higher, that's when we'll start moving into higher forms of public transportation, so like trains, trams, that kind of stuff. But I'll slowly get you guys geared in. We'll spread it over a few episodes, so it's not too much at once, and you guys can kind of follow along. And yeah, hopefully help you guys out. All right, that's it, guys. I wish you all the best. Happy building on your own, and I will see you in the next one. And I'll be doing some before and afters. I already recorded some of what the city looked like before I started building now. So in the next episode, I'll show you guys some comparisons. You can kind of see what's changed. All right, guys, all the best. I look forward to reading the comments. Take care of yourselves, and I hope your own cities are doing well. And if you want, definitely send me a screenshot. I like that kind of stuff, especially if it's kind of inspired from this. I like seeing it. In a weird way, I kind of think of myself as I'm almost like your dad, and I have a fridge, and I want to fill it up with creations for my kids, that kind of stuff, right? As weird and as lame as that sounds. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. I love the support. All the best. Take care of yourselves.